Guys, let me tell you, you cannot do this alone. Life is a team sport, and there's going to be days when the home team is getting it tore out the frame. And
Yeah,
if you don't have someone to help hold that frame up, you're going to be in trouble. Go ahead, Jason.
yeah. But and then later in that story, it says when they come out, right? It says, Nebuchadnezzar looked in there, and there was four. It was four guys. One of those was Christ, and they come out and it says, "Hey, man, their hair wasn't singed, their clothes, And earlier it backs up and it says they were loose, walking around. They had been bound, but then they're loose. And when you come out the other side, you're a lot more free, right? I think what you said about this being a team sport, and talk about, I'm just going to stay here. I'm digging in, and this is the hill that I'll die on. I'm just going to continue to worship Christ. I'm
Hmm.
just going to continue to follow Christ's word. That's a big deal, I think about. And there's a lot of guys out there who are combat veterans, right? And without a doubt have endured, and not just them, but a lot of people have endured hardships. The friend who stands beside you in that hardship, think about that. Think about how close you guys are. So, how do you, as you face this, how do you know and how do you continue to anchor in? Well, just like anything, you keep a prayer journal and you go, wait a second, God answered these prayers.
Hmm. Hmm.
When we talk about giving a testimony, they used to give testimony.
Yep. Yeah.
When I was a kid, you go to church, it's like, anybody want to have a testimony? And I thought it just meant about the times that you just told about how you come to know Christ. But in reality, a testimony is everything. It really is. Hey, I prayed for, I always pray when my daughter goes back to college. We pray for safe passage. We always talk about here in our house, as we go our separate ways the next day to bring us closely back together.
Yeah.
And we do. Well, that's an everyday answered prayer. I'm very thankful for that when
Yeah.
somebody's sick or things of those things, right? Like I got a thankful column that I keep up with, and that helps build that faith. But even when it exceeds it, just anchor in, right? Just keep driving that anchor in, and that's what your buddy. They're there too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that was my
Well,
leftover.
I love it. I love that extra helping that you gave us there, Jason, and I appreciate that. And folks, that's Jonathan's leftovers. That's what it's all about. It's giving you a little bit of something extra practical kind of thinking. Jason's wonderful comments on the prayer journal. Just remembering the goodness of God. It helps you be grateful, and it really helps you be obedient, which destroys all those attacks against us from Satan.